Colleagues, dear faculty and students, welcome to our webinar. And today we host Dr. Dmitry Kuteynikov, and I would like to give the floor to Vladimir Kozlov, who actually invited the scholar. Just to remind that we have like 1 hour, and Dmitry, you will have like 30-40 minutes to present, followed by the Q&A session. Vladimir, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Dina, for organizing this regular seminar. Dmitry, special thanks for finding time to generally present at our regular seminar. Online, but hopefully maybe sooner or later we can organize something like this offline. Generally, dear participants, please don't miss the opportunity to listen to generally Dmitry Kuteynikov, who is generally a very strong practitioner and a real consultant in case of the AI regulation. And I should say that Dmitry started to do it before it started to be really widespread, and looks like that everybody started to deal with artificial intelligence. He looks like he's working with it for more than 7 years at least, or even if not 10. Dmitry, now we generally will talk about the role of legal regulation in frontier of AI safety, and how not to get up in the world of Skynet. So generally, okay. Dmitry, the floor is yours.
Dear colleagues, hello everyone. Now I need one couple of seconds to share my presentation. Can you see it right now? Is everything fine?
Yeah.
Great. Dear colleagues, thank you for the invitation. I'm really glad to be here with you today. It's morning for me right now, but should be afternoon for you. So, okay. I've been working in this field for almost 10 years. It's really terrifying to say this huge amount of time. Before 2022, I worked as a professor, and me and my colleagues, we had a major research project in AI regulation in Russia. We published more than 30 articles, and in 2022, me and my colleagues published a monograph about AI regulation. It was one of the first monographs in Russian language, and since 2022, I started to work mostly as a legal consultant, but in this field of AI regulation and governance, mostly with the EU legislation. But also I work with NGOs under research projects and still publish papers. And also I work as a educator. Sometimes I can have courses in universities, and as well as advanced professional trainings for practitioner lawyers and governance security experts. My topic today is a bit provocative. Skynet, as many of you know, is the fictional AI system from the Terminator franchise that decided one day that humanity was a threat and launched a nuclear war. It is a convenient metaphor, but also a misleading one. The real challenge of frontier AI safety is not about a single rogue superintelligence. It's about a far more immediate set of problems. How governments can define what counts as dangerous AI systems, or what powers and capabilities do they actually have to oversee these systems. and what happens when AI system begin acting autonomously in the way that we haven't seen previously. And I need to say that these questions are now not hypothetical. And we can see that in different jurisdictions and in different regions, we can see distinct regulatory approaches to frontier AI regulation. And as for the European Union, I worked directly on one of the projects. It was about drafting a general purpose AI code of practice. I was in several expert groups. So I can present for you this topic from theoretical, both from theoretical and practical point of view. And as I already mentioned, I work as a lawyer in AI legislation compliance in the European Union. So I've already had clients who want to work with the AI models in the European market. So we had an experience to put AI models on the market. But today we will have, I think, more theoretical questions. I tried to find something for you, not in legal field, but closer to policy field. So my presentation is not going to be purely technical or legal. Okay, we will cover three main questions today. The first, what is a frontier AI model? This sounds maybe simple, but the answer differs fundamentally across jurisdictions. The second question, how deep does government access to frontier models? And are there any vulnerabilities in approaches of different jurisdictions? And the third question is about our future of AI development and AI regulation. It's about agentic and multi-agentic AI and autonomous systems. And we will try to understand current regulatory gaps, and maybe during our discussions we will find some opportunities maybe to solve some of the problems, I hope. Okay, so we should start with a simple question. What is a frontier AI model? And we should emphasize that from the point of the legal regulation, the term frontier AI is purely technical. It emerged primarily outside legal doctrine, and firstly it discussed only in leading AI laboratories, research centers, and governmental initiatives. But then we started to see that this term frontier AI or frontier AI models appeared in scientific articles and even in policy papers. And the most influential understanding of this term was proposed in an article of Marcus Anderling and his colleagues, who defined frontier AI models as highly capable foundation models that could possess dangerous capabilities sufficient to pose severe risk to public safety. And as for foundation models, I think I should also say a couple of words about them. There are two different terms, foundation models and general purpose AI models, they are close, but they are not the same. For example, foundation models, it is used mostly in the US and in technical papers, and general purpose AI models is used in legislative acts in the European Union. All of these terms mostly are about some kind of foundation models or AI models, which trained on broad data sets and then can be used to a wide variety of use cases. So that's why they are general purpose. Frontier AI models, they are the most dangerous of these foundational models. And now we should say a couple of words about why this problem matters from the regulatory perspective. First, the first problem is emergent capabilities. Maybe someone have heard something about this special capabilities, and they can rise unpredictably when we start training models on broader data sets than we trained models previously, and using more data and using more compute, we can see as a result, we can see some capabilities of models that we wasn't able to see previously. For example, they started to work with new languages, or they started to understand, for example, not only language, but pictures or video files or something like this. And I can say that previously we witnessed some kind of emergent capabilities. They are not so maybe crucial, but still we have this problem that sometimes even technical people, they cannot predict what we can have when we actually finished to train our new state-of-the-art model. And we can predict that sometimes we can face with something very, very dangerous. The second problem is that all models, all frontier AI models are dual use. For example, biotechnology and nuclear industries, they can use simultaneously in the private, in the civil industries, and also they can be used as weapons. Then this third problem is developer concentration, because now we can see that just a few companies can develop frontier AI models all over the world. We can say that we have like 50 companies all over the world, and most of them currently are located in the US and China, and mostly in the US right now. So we have a market concentration and some kind of a problem that just several people and several organizations actually have ability to interact with this kind of state-of-the-art models. And also harm potential, as we can say, as we can see previously, they are dual use, so they can raise a lot of problems. And right now, in many countries, legislators focused on cyber, biological, chemical, radiological, and nuclear threats. We can say that AI models first, they can generate new kind of weapons, and also they can help, for example, for terrorists or another, for example, our enemies from different countries, actually to generate more advanced technology that they can have right now without any human experts. So now we can say a couple of words about legal regulation. And first of all, we need to understand what is frontier AI models from the regulatory perspective. And as we can see that we have not the same, but close approaches in the US and in the EU. They use some kind of training compute or compute-based presumption. As for the EU, a model trained with 10 to the power of 25 floating points per operations or flops or more is presumed to carry systemic risks. This presumption is rebuttable, but you can read it on the slide. I'm not going to focus on that. And as for the United States, previously President Biden enacted an executive order, but now this executive order it's not in force anymore because of new administration. Donald Trump decided that it should be cancelled, and now we don't have any computer-based presumption in the US, but we should focus on the state level. For example, California, which is home for a lot of frontier AI model companies. There is a separate law in California, SB 53, which is targeted on frontier AI developers. And as we can see in this state, there is different compute threshold. It is 10 to 26 flops. And also it is connected not only with training compute, but also with amount of capitalization of the company and annual revenue. As for China, we can see a fundamentally different approach. There is no explicit compute thresholds. And still in China, there is no such a term as frontier AI. In China, there is sectoral regulation, and they have three main acts. The first act is dedicated to algorithmic recommendations. The second act is about deep synthesis technology, AI systems which can produce deep fakes. And the third one is about generative AI. And now last month, we could see a first draft of the act about AI assistance, personal AI assistance. And I think we will see it enacted maybe until the end of the year, I hope. So now we can see just sectoral regulation, but the problem is slightly different, and I think we will discuss it a bit later. On this slide, we can see the current amount of different models. These statistics, it's not fresh. I found it this paper like at the end of 2025, but we can see and predict that until the end of the year, we will face a lot of different frontier AI models, and the number of models crossing each threshold is growing rapidly. And by 2030, even the highest threshold will capture dozens of systems. Of course, we have a different point of view that sometimes that in future we will optimize our models, and smaller models can produce the same results, the same outputs as bigger models right now. But still, there is a trend of getting more and more compute, developing more and more data centers, and trying to frontier AI companies trying to capture more and more data and generate synthetic data. So I think in a couple of years, or maybe in 5 years, we will continue to see this kind of a curve of bigger and bigger models. This approach is still working. Okay, as for legal obligations for frontier AI model providers, we can see that approaches are slightly different, but the idea is mostly the same. In all jurisdictions for frontier AI companies or for more advanced and more capable models, there are strict rules about their safety, about model evaluation, cybersecurity, whistleblower protection, and risk assessment, and so on and so forth, content marking. I'm not going to focus on this because it's pure legal topic, but I need to show you our state-of-the-art situation in terms of legal regulation and what AI companies, major AI companies, should do to achieve compliance with legislation in different jurisdictions. Okay, and now we should move to the second major question, and knowing what counts as a frontier model and what obligation its providers bear is one thing. But the harder question is, I think, from policy point of view, how deep must the government access access to the model and provide oversight under frontier AI model laboratories. And I think we should focus on this problem from four domains. The first domain is safety, and we should see that private companies, they don't have incentives to carry out rigorous tests and validation and verification of AI models. So should governments be strict in order to enact obligations for them to, for example, to have external audits or external testing. The second one is security. The second domain, and it's mostly about cybersecurity, how to protect model weights from exfiltration by foreign intelligence services, for example. and how to avoid unauthorized access and unauthorized modification of AI systems and model, especially on the post-deployment life cycle stages. The third problem is transparency on architecture, training data, and evaluation results. And the last problem, I call it problem with foreign policy, and this is about assessing whether domestic models maintain strategic advantage first, and whether foreign models carry hidden vulnerabilities, and whether adversary systems are deployed domestically. And now we should focus on three main jurisdictions as previously. And as for the EU has built the most comprehensive institutional framework for government access. And on safety, the AI office, it is a separate body under the European Commission. It could conduct its own model evaluations, and there is a separate scientific panel of independent experts that can issue qualified alerts. Providers of model providers must perform adversarial testings and report incidents. And it's interesting that for all kind of models, there are same rules. In the EU has no foreign model assessment mechanism. Obligations apply equally regardless of provider origin. As for the US, we can see a different approach. On the federal level, there is no single piece of legislation, but Donald Trump enacted a new AI action plan, and according to this plan, they established and used the Center for AI Standards and Innovation under National Institute of Standards and Technology. And this act gave to this center rights to make external evaluations on frontier AI models, especially for CBRN threats, cybersecurity risks, and national security risks. And now we can see that major AI developers like OpenAI or like Anthropic, they work together with this center, and the center they have already made several external audits and several external assessments of the most advanced models. And also, it's interesting that this center has been directed to evaluate Chinese models for the alignment of Chinese Communist Party values. And we can, as we can see on the slide of the center, they made evaluation of open source DeepSeek R1 model. And it's interesting that under current administration, there is a tension between federal government and states. For example, as we could see previously, some states like California, New York, Colorado, they enacted separate AI legislation, but now current administration is trying to cancel their laws and continue to continue their policy without strict regulation, but actually they cannot do anything with states, and we still can see a trend of in various states they still enacting different kind of legislation. And also as for China, yeah, we finally come back to China. It's interesting that, as I've already mentioned, in China there is a sectoral approach to legal regulation. But for generative AI systems, they de facto have a licensing regime. There are there is a dual layer filtering. There is a dual layer filing system. For some system, they should just notify cyberspace administration or local administrations about the AI systems, but for most advanced generative AI systems, they should file all information about these models, and the governmental body has the opportunity to make all tests as they want. To understand how this model compliant with the legislation and how it is aligned with with the parties, Communist Party values. And yeah, most of us previously heard maybe that there is a strict regulation in the EU which can stifle innovation, but in China the legal regulation is slightly different. It's simply not true, because as we can see, in the US, in the EU, they don't have licensing regime that de facto we can see in China. And as for findings, totally I think till the end of at the end of the year, we could see like 5,000 filings. So it is a huge market of AI systems and AI models, and some of them they were tested directly by cyberspace administration or local bodies. Okay, and as for foreign markets, yeah, it's not possible to start working with the Chinese market unless you have this registration in cyberspace administration. So simply, it's not possible to work. And the last question. And I think this problem should be most concern for a policy audience. Everything we have discussed previously, like compute thresholds, obligations, governmental access, is built around one regulatory object, an AI model. But as we'll see a bit later, a model just is a part of AI agent, and yeah, now we can see key features of AI agents. AI agents are complex AI systems combining one or more AI models with software and scaffolding layer. It's a special layer which is in which is possible to connect different applications and different models, even smaller ones, to our primary AI model or couple primary AI models, which work as AI agent brain, and that's why this AI agent can perceive its environment, formulate its own aims, and execute actions. And it can work with different levels of autonomy. So, as we can see on the slide, there are several main characteristics like autonomy, persistence, ability to use some tools, goal refinement, and composition. From regulatory perspective, now it's not clear how to deal with different subjects under our current legal regulation and our current obligations. As we discussed previously, for example, in the EU, we can see model providers and system providers. I should more focus on this, I think. In the EU, there are several layers of the legal regulation. The first layer is a layer of AI models and AI model providers, which can develop a model and then provide this model to different subjects, system providers. And these system providers can make their AI systems based on AI models. For example, you can use ChatGPT or open source AI models to produce your own project. For example, I don't know, chatbot or a lot of possibilities for some kind of startup. We can use a brain AI model from different provider to make our own project. And that is why, as we can see later, this current approach, it's not working well with AI agents, because now we focus mostly on AI model providers and some systems which are high risk, for example, which works with some in some fields which are protected by our current legal regulation. But as for AI agents, we will see that the focus should be on slightly different subjects, because AI agents can be a combination of different AI models and different AI systems. They are more complex than our current systems. And as for regulatory gaps, as for the EU, we can see that the AI Act, it is, as I already mentioned, is the most crucial act regarding the AI legal regulation. I'm so sorry. And also, In August 2025, General Purpose AI Code of Practice was adopted by the European Commission. It is a separate mechanism that can help to AI model providers to achieve compliance with the AI Act. If this general purpose code of practice, this act, this code of practice is not mandatory, and all model providers can choose a correct way to achieve compliance. They can whether sign this code of practice and do as European Commission wants, or they can find their own way to achieve compliance. So this code of practice is crucial because most American companies, they decided to choose the first way to sign the code and to make and to achieve compliance as European Commission understands how it should work. In this code of practice and in the AI Act, we can see a lot of requirements for model providers, but as for system level, we can see just some use cases which is high risks and prohibited. But as for AI agents, in future we should emphasize that there should be more use cases that must be high risks. And now we can see that in the EU, regulatory landscape is not ready for agentic systems, unfortunately. The same idea for the US, but as for China, as we already mentioned, governmental bodies have a lot of rules to check AI models and AI systems under the hood. That's why they can use stricter rules without actually changing the legislation.
I'm sorry, Dmitry. Would you please wrap it up a little bit, because we would like to have some time for questions?
Yeah.
Like
just
2-3 minutes.
Just one slide. Yeah. And key takeaways from my speech. First of all, the frontier threshold is a policy compromise, not a safety metric. That's why we should understand that we should, from regulatory, from policy perspective, from economical perspective, we should make a compromise which AI models are frontier and which AI models we should afraid of, and on which AI model providers we should put stricter obligations. As for the second takeaway, that no jurisdiction has solved the access dilemma, because as we can see, in the EU, there is a system of regulatory bodies and regulatory acts which can help AI bodies to understand what these AI models are exactly before they put them on the market. As for the US, some governmental bodies can actually come to the AI laboratory and have an access to the model and data and infrastructure. And in China, full control of governmental bodies. And the next regulatory challenge is not a better model of AI regulation. We can see different object AI agents or agentic or multi-agentic systems. And now we're ready to our discussion, for our discussion, and I want to discuss three main topics. The first topic is separate regime or general obligations. Do frontier AI models require a separate regulatory regime for their providers, or can general purpose AI obligation be sufficient? And what is the idea and what is the basis for treating frontier AI systems differently? Should I read out all questions right now, or we can go one by one?
I think that maybe one by one, but actually, I think that we maybe there might be questions to you, Dmitry, from the audience. I'm not sure that there are experts on AI regulations. We have some people who are doing research on AI, but yeah, if let's first ask the audience if there are questions.
Yeah,
and then we can discuss your questions.
Yeah, but
there will be some input.
Yeah, but I try to come up with more policy-oriented questions.
Sure.
They are not about legal regulation. They
Sure.
are about decisions. Yeah.
There is one in chat question already.
I need to open the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there is a question by Lisa Lim.
Okay.
I clicked by accident, but I can ask.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Some technical issues.
Okay. Can you hear? I have an echo here. Anyway, I would like to.
Well.
Okay. So I'm going to ask into context of Kazakhstan. Oh gosh. Okay. Now, if country does not build its own AI, mostly least to developing country, emerging country per se, should we have the legal rights to inspect powerful, like a country like US and maybe China for hidden dangers such as like cyber attack or, whatever the bioweapon capability before letting them into to the country?
I think yes. First of all, we have two groups of frontier AI models. The first group is private or private AI models, which, for example, ChatGPT from OpenAI or Anthropic from Claude. You can just have output of the model, but you cannot access to the model. And the second group of models is open weights or open source AI. And the gap between frontier private closed AI and open source AI is not that huge. It's like from 6 months to 1 year. So unlike, for example, nuclear weapons, when the gap between the countries which have nuclear weapons and don't have nuclear weapons, the gap is huge, I mean, from technological perspective. But as for AI, the gap is not that huge because if the country, for example, doesn't have frontier AI lab, but still they can have open source AI, which obviously not that capable, but it is close to the state of AI, state of the art models. So I think yes, countries, especially in future, should treat every model individually, especially foreign models, because for example, in China, in Russia, I think I can predict these models will be aligned with values and regulation of this particular country. So my prediction that every country sooner or later will have regulation to check models and to check them about how they actually aligned with the legal regulation and specific values of the country. Okay.
Thank you, Asad.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I'm sorry I joined a little bit late. So what I understood when I joined that United States, US, is the government of US is trying to overturn the AI regulations. Did I get correctly?
Overturn the AI regulation in states, yeah.
Yes. Then if the government, US government is trying to overturn these regulations when all around the governments around the world are trying to adopt some AI policy frameworks to use AI more ethically, more legally, what are the reasons behind the US government? Because if they are successful in overturning all the AI regulations, then there will be a big black box. There is no accountability. So do you think that the government, US government, is trying to avoid to be accountable in front of their citizens, or what are the reasons why they are trying to overturn these AI regulations? Thank you so much.
I think this problem is not about AI. It's about general tension between two parties in the US and Donald Trump administration. They focus on deregulation. And as AI now is one of the most critical thing, they try to continue their policy to deregulate in every way. And I think they know that they cannot do it right now, but they want to fight. And on the other hand, Donald Trump canceled the executive order of previous president and enacted his new executive order. And as we skip these rhetorical questions like deregulation, they still save some crucial things, like, as I mentioned in my previous presentation, that governmental bodies should have access to AI models, not from the point of security in general, from security, but from national security agenda. So they switched AI safety agenda to national security agenda. That's why they want to cancel all legislation in democratic states, and as I can see, make some kind of Chinese-like approach. So there are no strict rules, but in China there are strict rules. But the governmental bodies have full access to AI model providers and especially to foreign AI models. So sorry, the answer is complex, but the problem is complex too.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions maybe or comments? There is a question in the chat from Dina Iglikova, who is our PhD student. What is your forecast for the standoff between Anthropic and the US Department of War, given Anthropic COE Dario Amodei's public rejection of their ultimatum today?
Another great question, as previous ones. This is a problem, but I think they achieve some kind of an agreement, because Anthropic simply cannot evolve without governmental support. Maybe not in terms of funding itself, but in terms of they should have access to governmental bodies. That's why maybe they ended up with not stricter rules, but they don't have any opportunities, any other opportunities, in my opinion. Maybe they can say for public that they refused, but in real life, I think they don't have any chances to avoid this kind of agreement with current administration.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Dmitry, I think that also your second question, how deep should government access to frontier models extend? Quite an important one, right? For political scientists, for policymakers. I would probably make a parallel between this question and to what extent there should be surveillance to protect and provide security over the private rights, right, or individual rights. How to strike this balance? And do you think that some other factors, such as maybe culture or the level of repression or restrictive environment of the country, might be important, right? When we discuss these issues, to what extent the government should interfere, right? And also another thing is about compliance, right? You're talking about these regulations, but what about the level of compliance on the part of the, I don't know, companies, right? Again, to what extent, even if there are strict regulations, to what extent these companies comply with these regulations, and what are the enforcement mechanisms or tools that make these companies to comply with these regulations?
There are two separate questions. That's why I should focus on the first one. I think that the connection between the regime in particular country is crucial, because in authoritarian countries, I think there will be no room to such discussions, like should government bodies have access to AI models? Yes, of course, like we can see right now in China. So it's precious that we can see a discussion between of balances in some countries. And I think we should continue to research this topic and try to and citizens should understand that they should try to protect their rights in AI field as well, not only in the sphere of digital rights. As for the second question, from the compliance point of view, in China, there are 3 acts and 4 mandatory AI standards. So the way how to achieve compliance is more or less clear. And as we can see on one of my slides, there are 5,000 applications. So it's working. As for the EU, the regime for GPI model providers, it's relatively new. This the GPI Code of Practice and Chapter 5 of the AI Act. They started working from last August 2025, but as for fines, they will start working this August 2026. So AI companies, they still have time to be fully prepared. And I think in reality, in August 2026, the European Commission and other state bodies will have powers to fine companies. But I think in reality they will fine later, maybe 1 year later, started from 2027, because they simply do not have any powers right now to execute. I agree with that. And as for the EU, during previous administration, there were several fines, especially for misleading information and fraud with AI. But now current administration is changing, still changing their approach. So we can see a lot of fines in states, but as for federal level, I think there still will be very individual approach to individual AI companies.
All right, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Yeah, it's a very timely and relevant topic, and some of our students also would like to explore this, regulations in Kazakhstan. We know that there is I think AI code in Kyrgyzstan that has been adopted in Kazakhstan as well. So the governments are trying to introduce some regulations, right? So
yeah, you can ask questions about Kazakhstan's AI law, because last month I visited Almaty and I already worked with some of my clients how to achieve compliance with your law. And so I shared with my European experience, because this law is it's not that good in terms of particularities. It's more model one, and companies
generic,
still,
you mean?
yeah, like model law. It's yeah, and a lot of obligations and a lot of concrete, especially from technical point of view, mandatory things. I think they will be enacted in acts of executive bodies. So we will see it later. But still there are fines, for example, for a synthetic content, and companies they want to understand how they should mark, for example, content. Yeah, and we try to figure out how to do it correctly. So yeah, you can ask questions about Kazakhstan as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you have my contacts on the first slide.
Sure.
You can
Yeah, we see
share
that you
it.
have, yeah, Dmitry, very kind of wide, also practical experience, right, with developing these regulations and laws related to AI. Very, very interesting.
Maybe could you scroll back to the first slide, just the last moment, so maybe some people who missed could see your contacts.
I can share my presentation with you.
Okay, yes, it would be nice.
You already have it. I sent it before
To Amina.
our lecture. Yeah, so you can share freely.
Okay.
So thank you.
So any other questions or comments? If there are no comments or no questions, then Dmitry, thank you so much for your very interesting and thought-provoking presentation. And we would like to wish you good luck with your job. I mean, because you're a practitioner, right? And also actually a researcher, right? Because you publish. So all the best in your endeavors. And thank you everyone who attended this seminar. I believe that we'll continue also inviting people who are doing research on AI because this is very, very important today. Thank you so much.